Derek Chauvin, guilty of murder in the death of George Floyd. Not a lot to say beyond obviously a very mixed bag of emotions for folks. But I don't know. Like it happened. They managed to find the thing that the whole planet largely agreed upon after witnessing the video. They found him guilty. Ron, I mean, any initial, a lot of legal analysis out there, but any initial thoughts, reactions, and then I'll go into sort of the negative.
Yeah, I can give you
reactions.
initial thoughts, and then I'll give you some legal analysis as to what this means, what the gist of it means, and what's probably going to happen moving forward. Initial thoughts was I should be happy, but I'm not. Right? Like, so I should have been working. I had a meeting afterwards, and I was like, all right, my partner hit me, he's like, the verdict coming. So I was like, all right, I'll just mentally prepare myself for that as best I can. And I cut on my TV, sit here, whatever. And my partners, I'm the lawyer in the group. They were like, what do you think? And the verdict came quickly. I think it's guilty. If it come real quick, and there's not like all of my verdicts have been not guilty, and they come quick because not being funny, like usually because the DA is so trash and I'm much better than them. So they're always going to be if not guilty. But in this sort of thing, neither side was like, oh, it's incredible trial lawyering, but because of the nature of what was done, and the verdict came back quick, it's like, oh, it's probably a guilty. So when it was read, I was like, oh, all right. I mean, I am a criminal defense lawyer, so I've been in that exact scenario from a legal perspective. Um, I often ask myself when I leave courtrooms, who won today? Right? That's my central question. Who won today? So if the prosecution, the state, be it Oklahoma, Minnesota, feds, United States of America, if they racked up a ton of convictions today, right? Am I, as a citizen, resident, member of society, am I more safe? They purport it's the state of Oklahoma, United States of America, state of Minnesota. Am I more safe? Did I win today? And I never have come out thinking, yes, I won. Right? Did you win today? Did your family win today? Are you more safe, more happy, more whatever? Did you win today? I often come out thinking, well, no. Even trying to put myself in the shoes, or just try to understand, let's put myself in shoes, but understand the victims, right? The victims in this, did they win today? And a lot of times I walk from that thinking, no, they didn't win. And so I don't think we won yesterday, whatever winning would entail. I think it's, well, I'll go into the numbers later as to how rare this is, a conviction against a police officer. But I felt no more safe. I felt no more free from the shackles of the state violence, right? And Derek Chauvin murdered a man in front of all of us. And in response, we're going to destroy Derek Chauvin's life for a substantial amount, for the rest of his life and his family's life. And so, like, is that the bar for society, right? Is the bar for us that victory or winning or justice is the state can murder a person extrajudiciously, and then we can destroy that person's life and declare that victory, right? That's a pretty low fucking bar for society. And whenever I thought about what victory looked like, for me, whenever I think about what victory in terms of policing looked like for me, right, not for broader society, I have University of Chicago alumni tags, and I have U Chicago Law decal. Not because I'm an asshole, I am, but I have them because I literally watch police in my rearview mirror read Like I watch them read it and they don't pull me over.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's why I have it. And I said to myself, after that verdict, would I feel comfortable going upstairs to the parking garage and taking it off? And I would not.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like we won.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and the irony of all of it is, like, as they're reading the verdict, a cop in Columbus, Ohio is murdering a 16-year-old, who, I mean, it just, yeah, I mean, and going to the winning thing is like, this is all just clean up after the fact, right? Like, there's nothing proactive about this. There's nothing restorative about this. There's nothing stopping this from happening in the future. I mean, except maybe in the back of some cop's mind, they could get charged. But again, I mean, those of us that study criminal justice reform or have met people who have committed violent acts, like, there's so many little steps in that process that lead to that moment, and punishment later is not the one that heads it off in almost any case. And so, yeah, it's hard to feel like you win. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's like, no, the system doesn't get changed, but there are people who are like, this is a victory, because there are white people who go, oh, I don't have to think about this anymore. George Floyd, murderer, is in prison. Like, this is not something, this has been restored. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like, it allows these like people who like floated into racial and social justice trying to say like, oh, we care about this. It's like, oh, look, solved. See, you threw a fit and it's solved now. Like, that's who I think is looking at this going, oh my gosh, we've done it. We've won. We've created systematic change with one course of a trial. Like, that's totally false. And those are people who came into this narrative just because of George Floyd and are going to leave it just because of this one trial that they think that problem is solved.
Yeah. And go ahead, Nick. What are you going to say? Because I was going to get to like the system, why it's so broken and how stats show it's broken and how this changes nothing about that.
Yeah. And there's like a tweet floating around this morning about like the Democrats and Republicans, I think Axios, who does these short stories, put out that like behind closed doors, they're saying that this is going to pull down the temperature and make reform like less likely. And I'm not sure I agree with that take like at all. I mean, I believe that like the Nancy Pelosi's of the world, and we'll show her response to all of this here in a minute. Like, I believe that they actually think that, but I don't think like anyone in our world or level, or even like a lot of liberals, truly believe that this was like any sort of like actual solution to the problem. Like, they understand that, like, I think many people's eyes, because of this murder and trial and just the protests that happened after it, I think many eyes have been opened. I think some of our old dinosaur political leaders are really that stupid, but the average voter or person does not believe for a second that this solved anything. I think conservatives maybe are sitting there hoping that lots of people believe this, and they got their fingers crossed, and we'll also look at some of their reactions to this as well. But I really, truly believe that the average voter believes we need to go a lot further and a lot deeper.